Hey y'all, checking in from Thomas Jefferson Park in East Harlem. I felt like making a video because I've been watching these two youth soccer coaches for the last 45 minutes or so while I'm stretching. They're kind of far away, but they're two guys wearing red. And what I noticed is like they're so firm and clear and direct. They're like, you know, if a kid like doesn't follow the instruction for one of the drills they're doing, he's just like, all right, go run 5 laps. So it's this really clear, strong, firm energy. And it was just making me think about like this is a moment in the world where there's a lot of desire and need for change. People are really fired up about racism. People are really fired up about politics, and I think that's awesome. And I know from my own life and ways of being that sometimes when I get fired up, there's like righteousness in there, and that's really just a form of anger. And that ultimately just puts more anger and violence out in the world. And it's really it's a way of also just not looking at myself honestly. And so anyways, what I noticed about these two coaches is that they're bringing this really strong, penetrating force, but that there's no righteousness. It's actually, it's an expression of love. There's no agenda in them. There's nothing they're trying to get from these kids to feel better about themselves. It's just pure love, and it's being expressed in this really strong, clear, direct way that it doesn't look sweet. It's really firm. And yeah, so it just kind of inspired me and reminded me of a couple things. One, that in order to do this work of creating change, we really have to start with ourselves and interrogate ourselves for any kind of righteousness or anger or anything we're trying to avoid or fix in ourselves that we're projecting out in others. It reminded me that that making an impact can be hyper-local. I think it's easy to take our eye off of the immediacy of changing ourselves and working with what's around us. And I imagine few things could be more impactful in healing the world than what these two guys are doing, just being really amazing soccer coaches for 50 young boys. There's no part of me that believes that is less effective or important than any sort of political change. And thirdly, that I upgraded from 2 to 3. Thirdly, that real love can look really firm and really clear, and often does. And I think we sometimes have a misconception that to be loving is to be sweet or gentle. Doesn't mean that. We just have to be discerning about how we bring love with clarity and a penetrating energy as we seek to make changes in the world. So anyway, those are some of my deep thoughts on hanging out watching these soccer coaches.